All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we get started, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you, we say shalom.
Shalom.
So, another video, another uh, video going into news and articles. This one entitled "News and Prophecy: um, Road to the M.O.T.B." Because as we're seeing, with time getting cut shorter, as uh, it says in Matthew 24 and verse 22. Baba Kushai, if you can get that,
Con.
get that real quick. Uh, but as we see, things is moving more rapidly, and we approaching the end days. Things is gonna start picking up, like that snowball effect. You throw a snowball down the hill, or you roll a snowball down the hill, and it starts to pick up that momentum, but also picking up more snow and building up and building up. And that's what we're seeing. Things that was spoken about 20 years ago now is becoming more and more prevalent, more and more in your face. You got it, bro.
Con, this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22. It says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened."
Right. So the Most High speeding up the times. Prophecy is happening more and more uh, faster, or at least topics that are about prophecy. Things that are spoken about in the scriptures. We're seeing it happen and building up in real life, in real time, right? And it's happening more and more faster, to where the apostles even say, if you miss a week in the news, you miss a lot. You miss a day, you miss a lot, right? So seeing that we're in the end times and things is picking up faster, pursuant to Second Ezra 9:1, we got to be measuring the times. We got to be more attentive to what's going on in the news, because as we're going to bring out a couple prophecies or a couple articles, Lakia, that pertain to prophecy, though, um, we're seeing the path to the M.O.T.B being laid out. The means by which Esau is going to come down and crack down upon the earth with that great wrath, as I have it pulled up right here. Uh, he's making that play, right? So I'm gonna read this real quick. This is Revelation 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Right? And that time, like I said, is getting cut short, and he knows it too. Esau, through his AI, through his his divinations, and you know all the ability that the Most High allowed him to achieve on this side, uh, he's able to know that his time is at an end. He don't have much time left, so he's gonna do what prophecy has stated he will do, which is to implement that NWO, the New World Order, and also force the micro CHIP upon the world, right, in order to maintain dominance. But as we know, he's going to fail. But you have anything out?
I got a precept. This is Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, and which, when the time is being measured diligently, it's pursuant to Habakkuk 2, all right, the second chapter, pretty much standing upon the watch and setting ourselves upon the tower and seeing what the Lord is saying, essentially lining up the prophecies with what's going on in current events." But it says, verse 2, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made," because essentially the Lord is touching this place with plagues, specifically America, Babylon the Great, you see, but then also other places around the world. Verse 3, it says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then which we've seen the uproars. It's multiple different uproars across the world. All right, and it's a lot of
Mhm.
uproars in America, Babylon the Great, and it's also earthquakes all the time. They just don't report on the smaller ones, but it's earthquakes happening all the time. Verse 4 says, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." Because the days, pretty much the end was prophesied from the beginning. Going into prophecy. Verse 5 it says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." So the end is manifest is obvious. When you want to manifest, it means that pretty much it's in our face, like you said. Let me get this word for manifest real fast.
Mhm.
And this word, the etymology for manifest, it says skip down. It says it says hold on, give me a second. It says clearly revealed to the eye, or the understanding, open to view or comprehension. It says, or directly from Latin, manifestus, plainly apprehensible, apparent, evident, proved by direct evidence. It says caught in the act. It says from uh, manus, man, which means the hand. It says number two, festus, which apparently is identical to the second element of infest. De Von writes, if manifestus may be interpreted as caught by the hand, the meaning seems to point to grabbing or attacking. So pretty much, it means clear and obvious, you see, but then also it has a relation to something that you can grab with the hand. If you can grab with the hand, essentially something you can reach out and see. Pretty much you could touch it. Pretty much the end is affecting and touching everybody. On the planet Earth. It's manifest. It's obvious.
Right. As they say, is a clear and present danger.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's exactly what Esau is coming up against. The danger of prophecy, really. The Most High touching this place, as you mentioned. Right. But that just shows you that this is divine judgment that's being handed out to America. This ain't no happenstance. This ain't no coincidental, or what I'm saying. Like this is a divine judgment from the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That he's bringing upon America, bringing upon Babylon the Great, as the scriptures call it. Right, because another
Mm-hmm.
name for America in the scriptures is Babylon the Great. Right, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Right. But this is what's coming down the pipe, the prophetical pipeline, you know, according to the scriptures. But we're gonna go ahead and touch into these articles, read a couple real quick, and then get some more precepts. The first one I got right here is from naturalnews.com, and pretty much it says UK government to launch digital ID wallet this summer. Right, so we've been hearing about this, digital ID since the whole C-19 started happening. But again, this is all the agenda of the elite to try to forward this plan and getting everybody in this digital database, right? Biometrics, implants, all these devices are going to be used to set up that B system, and you're going to have to you're going to have that in order to operate within the B system. As you just had the new, what's it called? What they call it here? The real ID, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to travel through planes or whatever here nationally in the United States, you have to have that real ID. Otherwise, they make the process of boarding the plane, a hassle. Make it very inconvenient for you to, get on it and make you last. I watch videos on this, and pretty much they're making it seem like, you know, like it's a big deal, to get on a goddamn plane. But that just shows you where we're headed. That dystopian society where everything is strict, everything is, you know, monitored very well, cameras on your ass 24/7. That we're here, man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got this one, you know, UK government to launch digital ID. So that's already going to start happening over there in the UK. Yeah, China, is be the front runner of this. The what they call it, the credit, what they call it, social credit score,
Uh-huh.
right? So you have a lot of these digital IDs, what they call them, cashless societies over there. So they're just like the what would you call it? Like the prototype that's being ready to be, launched into all these different nations. So let me get another one. Search on this one. This is from the People's Voice. French Justice Minister wants to abolish cash. So this is another thing, right? The having a cashless society, right? So all these pretty much all these westernized countries, and not even just westernized, because I mentioned China being the front runner. You have Japan also talking about doing these things, but a lot of these so-called first world countries, they're starting to adopt this technology, you know, to where they're going to get rid of cash just absolutely, right? You have what they call it, Bitcoin. Uh, what's the other shit? Uh, Pretty much all these different types of coins, right? That they have floating around that people are investing their money in. But that's pretty much the way things are headed, cashless, to where your money is going to be worthless. And that's the reason why this system, this current system that we're living in, has to be taken down, or it will be taken down, because a new system is going to have to arise that's going to be strictly just digital, right? And Baba Kusha, do you mind getting uh Ezekiel 7 and 19, Baba
Okay.
Kusha? Because that pretty much goes into what we're about to start seeing. You know, the abolishment of cash, also the collapse of the economy,
Okay.
which will usher in this B system, or this new world order.
Kind of Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19, it says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity.
Right. So it says they shall cast their silver in the streets. And what's the modern day silver and gold? Cash, right? And that's something that's going to be pretty much useless in these times that we're coming into. Well, moving on, once the economy collapses, your dollar bills, your greenbacks ain't gonna be worth shit. It's gonna be just like what happened in Venezuela a couple of years ago. People were dumping cash out in the streets. It was, wads of cash just laying out there in the streets, man. Nobody was picking that up because it was worthless. You
Shit.
know, it was meaningless. But you have something to say, Ak?
I'm about to just land back on you. Shit, it's worthless now. It's just that the people, they pretty much put their trust and they put their faith into the system. Because it's nothing more than a social construct. It's like you said, the greenbacks, the FRNs, the federal debt notes.
Mm-hmm.
Because pretty much that's what the elites use to start wars and pretty much run the world. But I got a scripture if I can.
Con, you got it.
This is Isaiah 36:6. Because just going into that, because you got a lot of heathen, and then Jake, specifically, they put their trust into something that's it's a debt note. It's not actual cash, But it says
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 36:6. It says, "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it." Excuse me, yeah, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So ultimately, the Lord has, when it says a broken reed, it's broken rulership. Essentially it's already a broken system. This place is going down. And Jake is still essentially abiding, all right, in this way of life. You see, well, since they want to essentially follow this way of life, eventually it's going to lead to the taking of a charagma, all right, and ultimately, by default, that represents destruction.
Right, right. Because ultimately, when you take that thing, you're ultimately marking yourself for death. Really, scriptures talk about how there's going to be a mark set upon those that sign that cry. That pretty much that mark going into the mark of exemption. But there's going to be another mark, a physical mark, is going to be taken by the 2/3 and the rest of the heathen, because ultimately, that's going to be to their demise, because they're like you mentioned, they're going to put their trust in that money. They're going to put the trust in that system, which Esau is going to push that as being the like the savior to humanity, because all hell is going to break loose, what they call the time of Jacob's trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Esau is going to bring in, with Esau's classic uh, order out of chaos type of move, where he's going to create the chaos and then he's going to bring the order later on, bring the solution, right? That's the reason why that M.O.T.B is going to be presented almost like, as the scriptures call it, like an idol, because it is going to be an idol. People are going to have to bow the knee, bend the knee to take this thing, man. But let's get another article. I want to move on to this one right here. It says U.S. Mint moves forward with plans to kill the penny. And when you read into this, I was reading into this. As a matter of fact, I'll read the first paragraph, the first two paragraphs, real quick. It says, the U.S. Mint has made its final order of penny blanks and plans to stop producing the coin when those run out. A Treasury Department official confirmed Thursday this move comes as the cost of pennies has increased markedly by upward of 20% in 2024, according to the Treasury. By stopping the penny's production, the Treasury expects an immediate annual savings of $56 million in reduced material costs. But that just shows you that the penny is really, the dollar is being worth less and less, to the point where these pennies, these coins, it's costing the government more to make them than what they're actually worth. But it says, the Treasury expects an immediate annual savings of $56 million in reduced material costs, according to the official, who was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity to preview the news. So that's pretty much the point, though, right? Again, these are just, again, the moves to make things go cashless, because now it's becoming a burden to them to actually print and make these things. Material costs, with a cashless society, you don't have no material costs, right? What's his name? Donald Trump is already creating the AI infrastructure. The infrastructure is already there to go cashless. When you go into your stores or whatnot, you know, everybody just uses their phone or uses a card. You know what I'm saying? People don't really pay with cash no more. Cash is becoming an inconvenience. People don't like carrying, pockets full of coins in the damn pocket, man. Having a goddamn stains on your fingers from having all the damn coins in your hands, and that damn smell. People, it's an inconvenience now, right? And I have another one too. Unless you have something to say, I
Nah.
have this one right here, because now it's even becoming a inconvenience to have cards. It says payment security concerns are pushing U.S. consumers to use virtual cards online. Right? It's all because of security, right? And what's the ultimate form of security, as we've been hearing throughout these news? Well, not in this video, but in previous videos that we brought out. A lot of the security concerns is people, identity theft, right? People are stealing your cards or whatever, you losing your wallet or whatnot. But now they're saying that the ultimate form of security will be to have everything biometric or implanted in you, to where it can't be lost and it can't be stolen. That's going to be the ultimate form of security, right? But this is the way things is headed, for security, for convenience, for less spending. You know, they're going to have to bring in this new world order. They're going to have to bring in this cashless society, the M.O.T.B, right? Because that's going to solve, as the problems they're presenting. They're presenting all these problems, but that's going to solve a lot of the problems that they're presenting right now, right? But let's go ahead and get Revelation 13 and 16.
Con,
Oh,
this is bro. God, it's Revelation 13 and 15. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed."
Right. So if you don't bend the knee to take this mark, the charagma, you eventually be put to death. Right. But he was given the power to do these things, right? To give power to the image of the beast. And the image of the beast is everything around you as you see right now, the culture, the lifestyle, right? The mindset, all this. Esau was able to give life to that system again, right? But now he's going to come with the notion of, if you're not down, that or if you don't get down, then you're gonna have to lay down, right? But you got it.
Verse 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that
Right,
no
you're gonna have
man."
to receive a mark in your right hand or in your forehead. You already seen a couple of them with Synchron, right? Neuralink. You have over there in Sweden. You have a lot of these Swedes over there, these Edomites over there. They have they're already chipped up, man. They're already operating in that system, but they're pretty much presenting it as being a convenience for you. The what they call it, the scriptures call it, they're lying wonders. You can have a C hip in your head, and you can control your devices, your TV, your lights, your anything that's connected to the Internet of Things. You'll be able to control it. You got it.
Verse 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, of the name of the beast, or the number of his name."
Right. So you ain't gonna be able to operate within society unless you get this uh, C hip, right? This chip. That's the only way you're gonna be able to operate within society. Otherwise, you're gonna be ostracized. Just like you were ostracized whenever you didn't take the jump shot. You didn't take it. Those who didn't take the jump shots, a lot of them lost their jobs. A lot of them couldn't go into certain places because, oh, you didn't wear the mask, right? But this is just a programming of the people, seeing how many people were willing to participate in this whole what would you call it? This whole
Pandemic.
pandemic, right? That's pretty much what the truthers call it, right? Pandemic. And we see a majority of people, they just they followed right along, man, like sheep. That's the reason why these elite call these people sheeple, man, because all they do is set a plan in motion, and the people just follow suit, man. So whenever this mark comes out, this charagma, whenever this comes out, a lot of y'all people are going to take this thing, but only the elect are going to withstand this. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get um what was it? Revelation 3:10.
God, this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth."
Right. So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Who are those that's doing that? The elect, right? They're the ones that's gonna hold that faith. That's talks about in First Timothy, right? Fight that good fight of faith. Well, the elect are gonna fight that fight of faith, man, and they're gonna endure all the way to the end. They're gonna endure during this time. But the Most High is gonna keep their is gonna stay their hand from taking this thing. He's gonna make a way out for them to escape this time of temptation or to endure it. Because a lot of us, well, not a lot of us, but some of us is gonna be made martyrs for this thing, right? We're gonna have to give up our lives for this. But the scriptures talk about uh, 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 fear not unto death, right? Or how's it go? But be thou
So,
faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And we have
mhm.
faith in that. We have faith that the Most High will give us a crown of life. By us laying down our lives for what we believe in, which is on Him. But again, like it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the elect are going to be kept this time. They're not going to give in, and they're not going to take that M.O.T.B. This is what shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Because this is going to take the whole world. This ain't going to be just a thing in America. Because a lot of people see the prophets out here and they're like, "Oh shit, I gotta get the fuck up out of here." But nah, no matter where you go, this is going to be there. You can go to Japan, you can go to Australia, you can go to the Philippines. It's going to be there, right? You're going to be presented with that option. It's either that or continue, uh, getting it from the mud, as they say. Going out hunting, getting out your own firewood. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the damn elements out there. And people are so weak nowadays that they can't deal with that shit. So there's a lot of people that are going to give in to that, right? You have anything,
La.
Con? Uh, shit. Shit, that's pretty much all I had, bro. Just quick,
Con.
to the point, quick news and prophecy, you know. But yeah, bro, if you don't have anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Uh, I guess I'll close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth and rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing His word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, we're going to say Shalom. Kwame
Shalom. Kwame Shalom.